Well, I just met Richie, and I'd been doing insurance for 43 years. I obviously do car dealerships and exotic car rentals, so it's interesting for me to meet somebody and interested to kind of discuss with you, how you've been sold insurance that's I call them cans of corn. Right? You don't get to customize it, and if you get it outside of the box, you get thrown out. So everybody tries to kind of piecemeal it, and they end up with a bunch of policies. And anytime you have more than one policy, lawyers get rich. And I learned that in Katrina. You got homeowners and flood, and two policies are always going to point at each other and say that's the other guy. So, all in one is kind of my approach. You can't always just have one policy, and that's what I told you. I have 53 corporations, right? Yeah. Premium finance company and a service company, and so each one has its own dome of protection, and then my holding company has a true umbrella, and it's fewer policies, and they're all set up to work together, but they're customized for you, and that's what. No other insurance company does that. They're never going to do it. I keep telling them how easy it is to just flip the pancake over, like cell phones, right? We had phones stuck to our wall before you guys were born, right? So, some old guy walks in and he's still using the phone on the wall. Yeah. It's stupid.
It's so outdated. There's a lot of outdated things in the world today.
Right. So anyway, I'm glad to be here, and it's impressive.
Yeah,
I'm going to drive out in a newer G-Wagon than the one I drove in.
I don't know if we can get newer. That one looks pretty nice. So it sounds like I'm excited to meet Rick because I'm an energy guy. I can feel good energy and a lot of wisdom coming from you. I can see the cigar. We drive the same car. I drive a G-Wagon every day, so that says something. And then I've seen Rick's boats and his marketing, and I don't know Rick well, but I get the idea that you're an adventurous guy, and I take the stance of living today, and you only live life once, so let's live it right, So insurance, I've been in the automotive business for over 20 years, and I'm 40 years old, so I'm not young anymore.
No,
not old.
Young.
Yeah, I think 40 to 50 is a good time in life. Of a lot of opportunity for me. So. I'm excited to hear from Rick today and bounce some ideas off because, I got into the auto business through auto body and paint and working with insurance companies. So I've seen insurance companies work every day to not pay people and not pay claims. There's legal behind it, and I've had to be on the other side of what we talked about of, hey, let's get them to cover OEM parts and do what they're supposed to do and make the customer whole, I've also been the victim of insurance companies win a lot of times. Our biggest insurance claim as a dealership was a hailstorm. Right. Luckily, we almost had enough coverage. Right. We came out on top, but it doesn't always end up that way. And I think there's a lot of risks, and definitely protecting what we build. There's so many things out there to try to destroy it, right. Especially the bigger you get. If you got 50 companies, you're probably a target, I would imagine,
Right.
So.
Yeah, but it's like Chicken Little, and the sky is falling, and, obviously I hate plaintiff's lawyers, right? But I also hate insurance. And again, hail claim, whatever claim you fear of, right? That's what we should be discussing before we take your money.
Yep.
Right? It's like, so what are we going to do? How are we going to partner so that it's not you lose, I win, or I win, you lose, which is how insurance is set up. And that's why they, whether it's a hail storm, windstorm, earthquake, which you have no coverage on, right? So that's what I like pointing out to people is my approach is we cover everything.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about, the peril. That's how lawyers get rich. If it's my car, my house, and it's damaged, I need to fix it.
Yep.
If it's an earthquake and my insurance guy says, hey, there's no coverage for that, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to sue.
Yep.
That's proven from Florida, California. But so again, it's like being in any athletic game, you think ahead of the ball, right? On a river trip, athletics, you think about what's coming upstream, and you have to be prepared for it. And having a plan when shit happens is, should be the focus, is how are we going to manage the claim? I don't want to talk about the paper. I don't want to talk about the price. Right? I want to talk about what you don't want to cover. Oh, we don't want to cover earthquake. We don't want to cover flood. We don't want to cover hail. And in many cases, they want to give you a big deductible, which actually takes them out of the range. And, body shops and roofers, because of deductibles and the lack of a partnership, when somebody shows up at your body shop or somebody has a damaged roof, first question is, what's your deductible?
Yeah.
Why do body shops and roofers want to know what your deductible is? Because it's in the mix.
Yeah.
It's
all part of the
you can
equation.
play with.
Yeah.
Right. So my approach is we share risk on a percentage basis. Right. I'm going to pay on every claim, and you're going to pay some. You might only pay 1%, and I'll pay 99%, but our interests are aligned.
That's cool.
And then the roofer and the body shop can't. No, but if I'm able to give you everything covered, in most cases, you have no coverage. So, if somebody has a 10% deductible on their $100 million building, that's $10 million. Right? So if you have a $10 million claim, I pay nothing.
Yeah.
That's unfair. So on a $10 million claim on mine, I pay 90%, you pay 10%. When most people look at that, they say, well, I can take more risks than that because I'm taking more now.
Yeah.
Which is really the key is let's share risk, align our interests. Anytime we try and carve shit out, the lawyers love it, right? Like if you owned a bunch of apartments right now, firearms, dogs, assault and battery would all be excluded. Well, that benefits lawyers because when you don't have coverage, you don't have a clean solution. My approach is I'm better off covering you for all that shit.
Yeah, why not?
Give you assault and battery. I can manage the claim with you better when we're not fighting. So, but it's a whole different new approach. Just
so
like
what sets you guys apart? I mean, you do specialty insurance, and then you're involved, and it sounds to me like you're letting people know what their coverage is. Because
we manage the claims in-house. Everybody else outsources them. They're trying to not pay a claim or pay less. They're trying to save money. My approach is if I have to fix your roof after a storm and I have to pay 20% more because the market's gone up, good for me.
Yeah.
That's part of my deal is I want you fixed fast and happy and back in business. And it actually saves me money in the long run.
So you're actually managing the claims then for the customer.
Yeah. No.
So I've gotten involved in my insurance claim on hail. It's like, I didn't even know my cars were going to be covered. Then when I figured that out, I had a hail chaser come and let me know like what the actual damage was.
Right.
And then we went for the insurance company, and I had to pay the hail chasing company that did all the PDR a huge amount of money. And so I like hearing that because it sounds like you guys are experts.
Well, again, we would just discuss it like in a hail claim. You have damage. Right. And what a lot of dealerships will do is they'll make the claim. They'll get their $10 million or whatever. And then they'll have a hail damage sale and they'll sell them all at a discount.
Yeah.
And, that's your insurance and everything. It all should work together.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a way, well, fuck them. I'm going to get as much as I can and then I'm going to do what's in my best interest. If we're sharing risk, right, and like I do some big homes in California, $40 million homes because of wildfire. And, their manager, their lawyers, they're like, hey, let's only buy $20 million of coverage. And I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Right. What I can do is I can insure it for 40 and we'll share it 50-50. And then you'll get paid 20 in a total loss, which is what you're saying you want.
Yeah.
But when you buy a can of corn that has co-insurance penalty, you can't underinsure like that.
Yeah.
So I insure for the right amount, no deductible. So Jessica Simpson, she had a $4 million deductible. I'm like, you got no earthquake, you got nothing. And more than likely, you're going to have a $4 million claim or less.
Yeah.
Because of this whole thing.
So insurance is going to win. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, and reinsurance and captives are now when people's insurance changes, the insurance system sells them captives, right? And I always say that's a deeper hole. You're not gaining ground there. What you're doing is you're taking more risk and you're putting it in a captive, which you'll never get that money out. It's trapped. And you're taking all the risk and you're paying more fees. And you still actually have to buy the same insurance you've been buying. They're just saying, oh, you get more control. Well, I was an agent or broker, took risk. They said I'd have more control. No, you don't. You got no control. It's the insurance company that issues it. And as an insurance company now, in '94, I went to Chicago, formed my own insurance company. You know, you actually have more authority than a lawyer. I can go settle any claim anytime I want with no lawyer.
So answer me this, is X Insurance the company? Like there's Geico, there's auto owners, there's all these. So if I do insurance through you, am I using one of those companies, or if you are the insured?
X Insurance is a nationwide broker, which is how I started.
Okay.
As an agent or broker. In '94, I went to Chicago and formed Prime Insurance Company. And at the time, it was small and it wasn't rated, so I issued Lloyd's of London paper, which was A-rated.
Okay.
And I took 25% of the risk from them. So I shared risk with them on a line slip. It's not reinsurance. You're paying a percentage of every claim.
Every claim, yeah.
And you're getting a percentage of every dollar.
Yeah.
So again, if we say the premium is, $1 million, and you want to take 50% of the risk, we pay the $1 million, and your $500,000 goes in your claim account. We don't need a captive, right? There's no fees, no nothing. And so the whole industry hates me because they all want to sell you captives, because all the people who charge fees, claims are outsourced. Underwriting's outsourced. So just like Countrywide Home Loans taught us all, having people make loans that have no skin in the game is a really shitty idea. Yeah. Because they're filling their own pocket as they're doing bad stuff fundamentally. So the key is that in partnerships, everybody bleeds together and everybody wins together, right? It's not a you lose. And the test for insurance, I say to people, why don't you report claims? And anytime anything happens, people go through this mental process. Am I going to report it?
I've done the same thing. I'm guilty of that.
Why are you wondering? Yeah. Right? And I can tell you it's because you have shitty insurance and you don't know the fine print and you don't know what a claim looks like. That's what a good fiduciary would do. They would walk you through it and say, look, you're not covered for earthquake. Are you okay with that? And I learned that in Katrina, where there was this old guy down there in Gulf Coast, couldn't get insurance. And he came to me and he was like a mentor to me. He probably died 20 years ago. But when he sold homeowners insurance down there, he tried to sell you flood. And nobody wanted to buy flood. So he had a big red stamp and he would stamp it on the face of your policy. And his kid was in business with him. And his kid's like, Dad, you got to quit doing that. And he's like, why? And he's like, because you scare half of the people off. Half the people leave here and go buy insurance somewhere else because they don't get the red stamp. Yeah. But they still buy the same coverage. They don't have it. Yeah. So then Katrina comes, and guess what? Me and him took one of the biggest plaintiffs' lawyers to jury trial in Gulfport, Mississippi, and won. And everybody said, you're going to lose. These are homeowners victims. And the jury said, if I would have been insured with Prime, and Louis was this guy's name, I would have been happy because of the way we laid it out for him and told him and disclosed to him that you don't have flood. Yeah, and with a big red stamp. Yeah, and it doesn't get better than that. Well, and when you make stuff mucky to make a commission, when shit happens, now you've created a whole muck pile. He said, lawyers. She said, they told me this, we didn't know. Clarity, that no surprises. That's what good partners do. Yes, I love it. It's like, hey, tell me what's coming, be ahead of the ball, not behind the ball. So, just my approach with you would be, to review your structure, how you do it, and how we, customize it to you. Might be different policies, one for the leasing company, one for the rental car company, and one for the dealership, but they're all still connected, right? And it's not like you have to hide it. Like I have 56 companies, right? If one of them does something wrong and somebody comes after it, that's why you have it in a separate LLC. And Yellow Cab of Chicago got some $40 million judgment against them, and the lawyers thought they have 3 cabs in each LLC. So when you win a lawsuit against that one LLC,
got 3 cabs.
you got 3 cabs, buddy. You know, and that's having an offense, having
People
a
know
plan
that,
and a strategy.
So you're saying every policy works with each policy to build your strength of all your companies.
There's no gaps, right? And then you have an umbrella that actually takes you to, $1 million or $5 million or $10 million. I'm not a big, I think insurance is sold, so they try to sell you more. I'm always like, why would you buy an umbrella when you don't have earthquake? Why would you buy an umbrella and get a higher limit when you have all these exclusions? Fill the exclusions first and get a good foundation. That's way more important than, making a producer a big commission that sells you a $10 million umbrella. And there are no such things as umbrellas anymore. When you get sold an umbrella policy, it's actually following form excess. So all it does is take your limit up. Any exclusions, like for hired and non-owned auto, or assault and battery, or firearms, you just got higher limits with the same exclusions. Umbrella means that they fill in the gaps, and that's what they used to do. But that's actually what we do. So if we reviewed this and we said, hey, let's keep your primary policies in place with your current companies, and we'll give you an umbrella over all of this, but we're dropping down on assault and battery and firearms and a dog, or anything that could happen, really. The only thing I can't cover as an insurance company is a criminal act. All right, and the easiest way to explain that is truck driver. I insure a truck driving company. I cover the company. The driver, as the driver, is a separate insured. Right. So when a driver tests positive, what happens? Well, that's a crime. Well, we still cover the company because the company didn't smoke crack or drink a beer.
But the
driver did. But we have to cover the driver. That's in the policy. That's insurance law. So, what we do is we want to take care of the driver. Most people just fire them and they become a problem for you in the lawsuit. So, we're going to have to let them go. But as an insurance company, we're going to hire them a criminal lawyer to help them through their criminal act.
Cool.
Right? And that doesn't hurt us. When you throw them under the bus, they're floundering. Right? And they're going to hurt anybody they can around them. So, if people get in an accident, I had a guy in Naples call me. He says, one of my guys just backed into the car, and you're going to cancel me. And I'm like, dude, settle down. Mellow out. I say, you call the guy that your guy backed into and tell him, hey, dude, I own the company. My guy just backed into you. What's the story? And I'm a good guy. I run a good company. Shit happens. I'm here to do the right thing. And, he calls me back and he's like, dude, that was the smartest thing I've ever done. The guy's cool. We got a plan. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, insurance confuses people because they're afraid to report. And insurance should allow you to do the right thing.
Totally,
When you do that,
if you're running a good company, that's how you should do it, right? So, switch gears a little bit. So I'm part of a company that has software that does exotic rentals. You guys do specialty insurance. So you're familiar with the app Turo. I don't know. Have you ever used Turo to rent a car? So it's kind of a competitor for that. But basically what they do is they specialize in exotic vehicles. If you look on Turo, they max out their insurance or the ability to put a car up to $200,000. There's other vehicles that go beyond that. Our software actually had a pretty cool milestone. So what it does is it uploads the renter's insurance and gets coverage through their insurance, which not every insurance allows that necessarily, but we had our first claim that was covered through our software by the renter's insurance on a $300,000 car. So that was actually a big milestone for our company. But my question is, we're looking for potentially a way for consumers or customers on the app to buy insurance, just like on Turo, but beyond 200,000. Is that something that, you guys do specialty insurance. Is that something that you'd potentially do or get into or partner on?
I've done exotic car rentals. There's an agent here in Sandy that, I think Prestige or something, that had a program and it went away. And, I've done it for the last 10 years. I've had guys, total cars and kill people I've had, damage claims. We've had cars stolen.
Sounds like you've seen it all. I mean,
Oh yeah,
been in the business. So.
Again, that's why you need to underwrite, right?
Yep.
There's guys who, and it's not just in exotic car. It's parasailing, backcountry skiing. You make shitty decisions, right? You rent to a 21-year-old kid who's not employed, who can't provide insurance. He got his money because he made a work comp claim.
Yeah,
and he's out for a party. Right, that's trouble.
That happens, especially on exotic cars.
Right.
Sometimes.
So, and then you got the guy like me or you that I got a Bentley. So if I want to go rent a Bentley, I call State Farm.
Yeah.
And they'll send you proof of insurance.
Yeah, you just want to rent a car in California that's comparable to your G-Wagon, right?
So and
that's who you want to rent to.
Yeah, no, those, and then, there's foreigners, people with foreign licenses, and we do those. Obviously, they can't provide insurance, so the exotic car rental programs that we've done for 10 years, that's our deal, is if they can't prove insurance, then we would sell them an insurance policy as the renter. And it's really a short-term lease.
Yeah.
Just like you go and get a car from Ford Motor Credit on a lease. You have the car, you now have insurance. You as the business want to have insurance, but that's the primary level of protection, and that means that you're insulated to some degree.
So do you guys have the technology, though, to put like a button on an app like Turo for a customer to buy insurance instantly, like on Turo?
Yeah. I mean, again, insurance law means that Turo can't sell insurance because they're not licensed. Now, a lot of people go get their licenses so they can sell insurance. What I've done since 1985 is with associations or with partnerships with apps, different, things that have emerged, is we put on there, Turo insurance powered by X Insurance.
Yep.
Because X Insurance is a licensed producer nationwide.
You're the insurance. Prime
Insurance is the insurance company that X Insurance uses, just like I used to issue Lloyd's a London paper. But now I'm A-rated, I'm in all 50 states, Lloyd's reinsures me, but I don't want to issue their paper because they make the decisions. They paid a $16 million claim I wouldn't have paid.
Yeah.
And then they sued me to pay them, and I spent $2 million winning, but I won. The court said, you made a bad business decision and tried to sue somebody to recoup it. And, it's all about the bully on the playground. I was right. I go over there, and the Lloyd's underwriters I deal with, they're like, Rick, you think it's a good idea to be suing the biggest Lloyd's syndicate? And I said, well, if I was wrong, it would be a terrible idea. But since I'm right, it's a fucking fantastic idea, and I'm going to kick their ass.
Yeah.
And for 2 years, they lied about it, and court, ruled in my favor. And, again, you just have to stand up for yourself. You can't ever win by compromising your integrity and your reputation and doing it right. And again, I was arrested in Chicago wrongfully and charged with a felony, and I can't own an insurance company. They give me the door out and say, you can plead guilty to a misdemeanor, and everybody thinks I'm crazy for not doing it. But I'm like, no, fuck off.
Yeah.
I didn't
goes against your belief.
Don't ask me.
Yeah.
Right. And I won. And then I sued the cops, and everybody said, you can't sue the cops. They have immunity. And I'm like, bullshit. Their immunity goes away when they break the law.
Yeah.
And I sued and won, and both officers were found guilty, and so was the city of Chicago, and I won $200,000, but it cost me $380,000.
But hey, it was a victory.
Well, and
a moral victory.
It. Well, and again, if I would have settled in my own brain, I would be sitting there saying, I wonder if I could have won.
Yeah.
And in life, if you're building a business, you have to know. The bully scares you into settling and paying claims that you shouldn't pay. You're giving your business away just like you used to give your lunch money away to the bully.
Yeah.
So building a business means you have to deal with the back end of the horse. A horse has a front end, that's the front end. Good looking, you can polish it up, make it look good.
Yeah.
All shit looks the same.
Yeah.
And if you can't manage the shit, and it takes a partnership, and I win lawsuits all the time with good people.
Yeah.
Merrick Outdoors is here, and I've met with 3 guys that, the one guy had a quadriplegic case, guy dove into the river. We went through that in 88 and came out successful. That was kind of one of the beginning things. But to meet with people 35 years later, and, they're telling me stories I don't remember about winning lawsuits and representing the industry. That's what you want to do. Look back and think, hey, I did it right. And if I did it wrong and failed, that'd be stupid.
Yeah.
Doing it right and winning's great. Doing it right and losing, I would rather do it right and lose than be fake.
Yeah, I agree. Talk to me about your hobbies, man. You seem like an adventurous guy. What do you like to do?
Well, I'm going to take these guys out pheasant hunting to my place. I bought this place out in Duchesne 30 years ago and made it into like a little hunting preserve. And so I do that. I fly the helicopters. That's how I got into the boat racing.
So you're a pilot then?
Yeah.
Helicopter and airline?
No,
or just
I don't like fixed wing. Helicopters are fun unless you're flying them across the country.
Yeah.
I got stuck last week. That's why I got a little cold. We were stuck in fields in snowstorms and shit because we couldn't see. So that's the good thing about helicopters. You can land anywhere and wing it out. But
that's a good thing for Lake Powell, man. That'd be the way to do it. So.
Yeah. Well, I like Lake Powell. Been going there since we've been 12. But my business and my hobbies, everything I do, boat racing, Lake Powell, snowmobiling, fishing in the Keys, I work it with business people. I'd rather go hang out with cool guys where you can form, networks where you're helpful, right? Doesn't mean you got to buy insurance or I got to buy cars from you. It means that we know each other, and if it works, it works, right?
Well, that's what I like about you. I'm an experienced guy, and I think connecting through experiences, I love that, and I'm the same as you, where I'm like, it's all business and a relationship, so I love traveling, I love the ocean, I love flying, fast cars, boats, all that stuff. And
see, insurance guys golf a lot, and I did that a lot. And the only good thing about golf is you see cheaters, right? Because if they cheat at golf, they're a cheater.
That's true. It tells you a lot about a guy, So I just started golfing.
Right.
And I know that I suck at it, and so I'm like, I just need like a 2-hole advantage or a 2-shot advantage per hole, and it ends up working out, But I'm like, if I can still win ethically, they know I suck, so I'm getting better.
Well, that's called a handicap. You just got to play enough games to get a handicap.
Exactly.
And you get 2 strokes.
I'm getting into it. I used to play a lot of racquetball and other stuff like that, and you only have a limited amount of time during the day to be good at certain things. So golf. Right. I'm trying to get
looks like you're doing good in business and you're looking good.
Yeah, it's a pleasure meeting you, man, and talking insurance. So.
Yeah.